Welcome back, everybody, to another deep dive. This time, we're exploring AI in healthcare.
Sounds fascinating.
It is. We've got some excerpts here from a 2024 academic review from Life called Artificial Intelligence in Healthcare, A Journey Through History, Present Innovations, and Future Possibilities.
You know, it's pretty amazing to think how much AI is already a part of healthcare.
It really is.
But the thing that blew me away when I was reading this article was just how far back it all goes.
Oh, yeah. How far back are we talking?
Well, the roots go way deeper than a lot of people think.
I bet most people just think it's a 21st century thing.
That's right. But actually, the seeds were sown way back in the 1950s.
That's going way back.
Like with Alan Turing.
Oh, yeah. The Turing test.
That's the one. You know that idea that a machine could actually think like a human?
Right. And that really got the ball rolling.
And then you've got the Dartmouth Conference in 1956.
I've heard of that.
All these brilliant minds came together and laid the groundwork for so much AI research. And it's crazy to think that all those theoretical discussions they were having actually led to the breakthroughs that we're seeing in healthcare today.
It really is. It's kind of like a ripple effect.
It is.
And I guess those ripples started to spread out even further when we got the first industrial robots.
Oh, right. Like that robotic arm.
That's right. The one from General Motors back in '55. So things were really starting to take shape.
Makes you wonder what those folks would think if they could see where we are now.
No kidding. Then in the 1960s, things got even more interesting. We got Eliza.
Eliza? Who's that?
The world's first chatterbot.
What?
It was designed to act like a
The
therapist.
chatbot therapist? That's hilarious.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah,
It's kind of ironic.
it is. But I guess even back then, they were exploring how AI could interact with people on like a personal level.
Yeah. Even when it came to something like mental health.
And we can't forget Shaky.
Oh,
Shaky the robot.
Tell me about it.
That thing could follow instructions and everything.
Yeah. It could actually navigate its environment, which is a huge deal back then.
It really was. Like for AI to actually perceive and act in the real world.
I mean, that's like going from just thought to action.
That's a great way to put it.
So then we move on to the 1970s.
Okay.
And this is where things get really medical.
How so?
Enter INTERNIST-1.
INTERNIST-1. What is that? Some kind of doctor?
You could say that. It was the very first AI medical consultant.
Wow.
Can you believe that?
So back then, they were already using AI to help diagnose patients.
They were. So basically, it would use the patient's symptoms and try to figure out what was wrong with them.
So it was paving the way for AI-assisted decision-making. That's amazing.
And even though it wasn't perfect,
Uh-huh.
it was a huge turning point.
Totally.
And also in the 1970s, they had the very first AI in medicine conference at Rutgers University.
So they really started working together.
Yeah, all this collaboration and research just fueled the growth of the field.
So then what?
Well, in the 1980s, we get de-explained,
De-explain.
which kind of built on what INTERNIST-1 did.
Oh, so even bigger database and more diagnoses and all that.
Exactly. And then, of course, who could forget IBM's Watson?
Oh, yeah. That was amazing.
I mean, going on Jeopardy and totally dominating.
It was incredible.
That was back in the early 2000s and
Yeah.
really captured people's imaginations.
It did. It showed that AI could handle all this complicated information
Yeah.
from all these different places
Yeah.
and answer all these tricky questions.
Just like a human would.
It was like AI was finally understanding things the way we do.
And that brings us to the 2010s and now.
Okay.
And now we're really seeing AI everywhere.
Like it's exploded.
Personalized medicine, public health, telemedicine.
You name it.
It's everywhere.
And it's all thanks to machine learning and neural networks.
That's right. Those are the brains behind all these incredible AI applications.
So I guess we should probably talk about those.
We should.
Yeah.
Now, most people have at least heard of machine learning, but I think it would be helpful to give everyone a quick refresher on how it works,
Sure.
especially in healthcare.
Okay. So imagine you're trying to teach a computer to recognize a tumor in a medical image.
Okay.
But instead of actually programming in all these specific rules,
Right.
you just show it thousands and thousands of pictures of tumors and non-tumors.
Okay.
And from all those pictures, the computer learns how to spot the patterns.
Oh, so it learns to tell the difference between a tumor and healthy tissue.
Exactly. So that's what machine learning is.
Algorithms that analyze data and make predictions.
Exactly. Without you having to program them directly.
And that brings us to neural networks.
which are pretty complex.
They do sound a lot more complicated.
Well, think about it like this. They're inspired by the way the human brain works.
Okay.
So picture a network of all these interconnected nodes.
Mm.
And those nodes are processing information, just like neurons in our brains.
Oh, that's really interesting.
So deep learning, which is a subset of machine learning, it uses these neural networks to analyze really complex data.
I see. Like pictures and sounds.
That's right, which is obviously super valuable in healthcare.
So give us an example. How are they actually being used to improve healthcare today?
Well, a really great example is convolutional neural networks,
Ah,
or
so
CNNs.
CNNs.
Yeah. And they're particularly good at dealing with multidimensional data.
Like medical images?
Exactly. So you know how they're using them to detect skin cancer from photographs?
Really?
Yeah,
That's amazing.
with incredible accuracy.
Oh.
And they can also analyze all kinds of medical scans.
Oh, wow.
Like X-rays and MRIs.
So it's like having another set of expert eyes.
Right. But they're like superhuman when it comes to pattern recognition.
That's credible.
And it's not just about detection either. AI is totally changing how we approach treatment and patient care in general.
I bet. So we've seen how AI has evolved over time.
We have.
But let's zoom in on how it's actually being used today.
Sounds good.
So where's AI really making a difference right now?
Well, one of the most exciting areas is personalized medicine.
Tell me about it.
Well, we generate so much data all the time.
I mean,
Our genetics, our wearables, our electronic health records. It's a ton of information.
it's a lot to process.
And AI can make sense of it all
Right.
and create these truly personalized treatment plans.
It's like having your own personal health analyst.
Right. That's constantly crunching all these numbers and finding little insights just for you.
It's incredible.
But it's more than that, too.
Oh,
It's not just the numbers. It takes into account the whole person, their biology, their lifestyle, even their social determinants of health.
wow.
So it's really a holistic and personalized approach.
That makes a lot of sense. It's like AI is finally helping healthcare catch up to the fact that we're all individuals.
It is. And that's just one of the ways it's transforming healthcare right now.
Really? Okay. So what else you got?
Well, let's talk about public health and immunization.
Okay.
Well, AI was absolutely crucial during COVID.
It was.
I mean, just think about trying to keep track of how the virus was spreading
Right.
and making sure people got the vaccines.
And that the right people get the right vaccine at the right time.
Exactly. And AI really helped policymakers and healthcare providers deal with all that data.
It did. So they could make decisions in real time.
Exactly.
And, they used AI to try and figure out where the next outbreaks would be.
Oh, yeah, like hotspots and stuff.
That's right. And where they needed to send resources.
Wow. That's incredible.
It is. Being able to predict things like that is really powerful.
It is, especially when you're dealing with something that's changing so quickly.
And don't forget about the vaccines themselves.
Oh, right.
They used AI to help develop those too.
Oh, we did. How?
Well, all that data they had to go through,
Yeah, mountains of it.
all those machine learning algorithms helped them identify the most promising candidates.
Really?
So it actually sped up the whole process.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
It is. It's like having a research assistant that works 24/7
It never gets tired.
and never gets tired. That's the best part.
Speaking of game changers, let's talk telemedicine.
Okay.
It's growing so fast.
It is.
How's AI changing things there?
Oh, it's taking it to a whole new level.
Like how?
Well, for one thing, image analysis.
Oh, yeah.
The FDA has approved some AI algorithms
Uh-huh.
that can help diagnose strokes and stuff
Really?
and pulmonary embolisms.
Wow.
Even certain cancers remotely.
That's incredible. So even if you're miles away from a specialist,
Mhm.
you can still get a good diagnosis.
That's the idea.
That's going to be so helpful for people who don't live near big hospitals.
Definitely. It could really improve access for so many people.
It really could.
Yeah.
And AI-powered telemedicine isn't just about diagnosis either.
Oh, right. It's changing how we monitor patients, too.
How so?
Think about all those wearables and smartphones.
Oh, yeah.
Now they have all these AI-powered sensors,
Really?
so they can keep track of your vital signs.
Oh.
Make sure you're taking your meds.
And it can even guide you through rehab exercises.
Wait, seriously, so my phone could be my physical therapist?
Well, not exactly.
Oh.
I mean, AI can definitely give you feedback,
Right.
but it can't completely replace a human therapist.
I guess that makes sense. But it could still be super helpful.
Definitely. I mean, it makes things so much more accessible.
It does, and it can be more effective for some people.
I'm sure it can.
Yeah.
Oh, what about chatbots?
Oh, yeah. They're everywhere now.
I feel like I see them all the time.
even in healthcare.
I know.
So they're being used for all kinds of things.
Like what?
Well, they can answer some basic medical questions.
Okay.
They can help triage patients.
Well,
They can even provide mental health support.
really? Have you heard of Wobot?
Wobot.
Yeah, it's a chatbot for people with anxiety and depression.
Oh, wow.
Pretty wild, right?
Yeah. It's interesting to think that AI could help with that kind of thing.
Especially since mental health is so much about personal connection.
It is.
So do you think AI can really provide that kind of support?
I think it's a tricky question.
How so?
Well, chatbots can certainly listen to you,
Right.
and they can give you good information.
Oh, yeah.
And they can even help you track your mood.
Mm.
So for people who are maybe a little hesitant to see a therapist,
Yeah,
they could be a good first step.
maybe.
But it's important to remember that they're not human.
That's a good point. You can't replace human interaction completely.
You can't, but maybe they can add to it.
Yeah, like a supplement.
Exactly. They can enhance mental health support.
It's all about finding the right balance
It is.
between the AI and the human touch.
Definitely. And, this whole integration of AI into healthcare,
Yeah.
it's actually changing medical education, too.
It is.
There are all these exciting new ways to use it.
Like how?
Well, there are platforms that can personalize learning experiences
Oh, wow.
and give students feedback.
So it's tailored to them specifically.
Exactly.
That's really cool.
And they can even simulate complicated medical scenarios.
All up for practice.
That's right. So future doctors can really get a good grasp of AI's capabilities.
And its limitations.
Exactly. And it prepares them for a world where AI is just part of healthcare.
It really does feel like we're on the verge of a major shift.
We are.
So with all these advancements, what do you think the future holds for AI in healthcare?
Well, there are a lot of exciting possibilities,
I bet.
but there are some challenges too.
All right.
The article talks about a few key areas where AI is going to have a big impact.
Oh, like what?
Well, imagine a world where AI can predict diseases before they even happen.
Really? That sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie.
I know, right?
But how would that even work?
So AI could analyze tons of data, like your genetic information, your lifestyle,
Yeah.
environmental factors, and use all that to figure out who's at risk for certain diseases.
Wow. There's like a personalized early warning system.
That's a good way to put it.
But that raises some ethical questions, doesn't it?
It does.
Like, what if AI tells you you're going to get sick?
Yeah.
How do you deal with that information responsibly?
That's one of the biggest challenges we're facing. We have to be really careful.
You do?
We want to use this information to help people,
Right.
but we don't want to cause unnecessary anxiety.
Or discriminate against people.
Exactly.
That's a tough balance.
It is.
But predictive medicine is just one area where things are going to change. What else is coming?
Well, personalized drugs.
Personalized drugs.
Yeah. Imagine medications that are tailored to your specific DNA.
Whoa.
So they're more effective
Okay.
and they have fewer side effects.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
But how does AI fit into all this?
Well, it can analyze your DNA to find the best targets for drugs.
Oh, I see.
And then it can design new molecules with specific properties just for you.
Wow. That's incredible. So no more one-size-fits-all meds.
Mhm.
That's the goal.
I'm on board with that.
So we've got predictive medicine, personalized drugs, and AI is also going to be huge in surgery.
Surgery. How so? Think robot.
Robots, like robot surgeons.
Exactly.
That sounds kind of scary. Are surgeons even going to be needed anymore?
It's not about replacing surgeons, it's about helping them.
Okay.
So AI can analyze medical images, plan out the surgery, even control the robotic instruments.
Wow. So it's super precise.
Very precise. Which means less invasive procedures, fewer risks, better outcomes for patients.
That makes sense. It's like having an extra pair of hands in the operating room.
Exactly. Highly skilled hands.
So much potential. But we can't forget about the ethical side of things.
Definitely not.
I mean, with AI becoming such a big part of healthcare, what are some of the things we need to be careful about?
Well, data privacy is a huge one.
It is.
All these AI systems need tons of data to work.
Right. Including our personal health information.
Exactly.
And protecting that data is crucial.
Absolutely. We need strong rules and regulations.
So make sure our information is being used ethically.
Yes. And we have to be really careful about bias in the algorithms.
Oh, right. Because if the data is biased, the AI is going to be biased too.
Exactly. And that could make existing health disparities even worse.
That's a really good point. We can't let that happen.
Yeah,
We need to make sure AI benefits everyone equally.
we do.
Wow. This has been an amazing deep dive. So much to think about. But before we wrap things up, I want to leave our listeners with something to ponder.
Okay.
With AI playing such a big role in healthcare, how is that going to change the relationship between doctors and patients?
That's a great question, and honestly, I don't know the answer.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
I think it really depends on us.
What do you mean?
As a society, we need to decide how AI fits into healthcare.
I see.
If we focus on human well-being, on empathy, on ethics, then AI can actually strengthen that doctor-patient relationship.
I hope so. It's definitely an exciting time to be alive.
It is.
AI is changing everything, and healthcare is right at the forefront.
It really is.
So it's up to all of us to make sure we're using this technology for good,
That's right.
to create a healthier, more equitable, and more human-centered future for everyone.
Well said.
Thank you all for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you enjoyed it, and we hope it's made you think about the role of AI in healthcare in a new way.